Peace, family. This is Divine Prospect, Kingdom Harbinger Ministries, and look who I bumped into in New York.
What up,
my Brooklyn boy.
That's
you know
good.
what I'm saying?
That's good.
He came out to support me when we had this debate, me and Brother Jabari, which was a very interesting debate. For those of y'all who probably seen it, those of y'all who did not see it, it will become the official video will be coming out soon. But I said, listen, when I get into town, let me contact this brother because I love this brother's work. I love how this brother contributes to my growth, and I just love having builds with him because even though we have differences, there's also things that we agree upon, and we can disagree amicably, and this is why I can build with the brother, right? And show them your fringes, yo.
Got the cami joints.
Oh man, you got the fringes on.
Don't hate me. Don't hate me.
And show them your chain. I like your chain. And we were just talking about the brother's chain, which is I think is very unique. But you know what? Let me let the brother.
And I'm a Christian.
Let me let the brother. You see that? Let me let the brother. Let me let the brother. And I just seen a lecture he did. Fire. But I'm gonna let the brother introduce himself. He's gonna tell you who he is. He's gonna tell you where he teaches at, where you guys can come if you want to see. But this is, I call him Big Al.
Yeah.
This is Big Al in the building. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Also known as Tranquill.
Yeah, Tranquill. That's the rap name. Yep.
Second thought. Want to say what up to my crew, BEC. Now I mean the Ezra Group. You know, ICOC. I'm affiliated with all those people. I've been a follower of the Most High for 26 years. Wow. And you know, I've definitely started getting groomed into being more of a teacher of the word and just having a good time, just, you know, whatever I learned, being able to pass it on to my people so they could be excited as well. So.
And where do you teach at? If we want to come see, we want to come check you out.
Well, we're moving soon, but right now we meet every Sunday at High School Fashion Industry, which is on West 24th between 7th and 8th, 11 a.m. Sunday. We don't worship the sun god. It's the first day of the week. Each day it has no intrinsic evil or good. It's what you do with that day. All right. And so Sabbath for Saturday, I get it.
So where are y'all moving to? Do you know yet?
We don't know yet. We gotta find a new spot.
What's the name of the organization?
It's New York Church of Christ.
New York Church of Christ. Okay. Yeah. So this brother has a lecture coming up tomorrow, and you're probably not going to see this in time. But are you going to record it like you did your last one?
Record it.
Okay. What is your YouTube channel?
It's Tranquill. It's TRANQUILL.
And that's your YouTube channel.
That's my YouTube channel.
And check out that last video you has up there, which I thought was pretty interesting, and I learned some stuff from it.
Thank you.
So now I'm gonna get in the camera with you, but I just want you to give me your outlook, your honest, unbiased outlook on how you think the debate went. And then from there, we're going to touch on a quick spiritual matter, and we're going to sign out. We're going to make this thing potent and to the point, and then people are going to really get to know what Tranquill's about. So please give us your feedback on that.
All right. So I think it was dope. I was very entertained. You know, it was vigorous but civil at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't a lot of URL battle rap thing happening. You know, I think both of you guys were incredibly intelligent. You know. Both of you guys are very, you know, tacticians. I think he was trying to contemplate the next person's move, and there was a lot of leg sweeps going on. A lot of leg sweeps. I have a few points of contention. I felt like it wasn't fair that you had to start your presentation with defending your stance. You know, I feel like that takes away from the debate, but you had to do it based on the previous video they did of you.
And based on what we agreed as well coming into this debate, so which I should have looked at as a setup, but...
Yeah, he kept making allusions to Roman Catholicism, which I don't understand why he did that, because Divine, I don't think, have you ever been a Catholic?
Never mind.
Actually, I grew up, I'm Puerto Rican, I grew up Catholic. I had no choice. So
exactly, right? Yeah,
Puerto Rican. But, you know, I felt like that made no sense. I felt like...
But even you growing up as a Catholic had no bearing on where you at today.
Right. No, totally not. But he kept using that because he wanted the people to make that connection.
There you go.
Because he never said that there was a connection, but he used it as a rhetorical device so that the people who watch it could put two together. It's like, oh, he must be bringing it up because Divine must have some kind of link to the Pope or something.
Exactly.
You know, I felt like you didn't get a chance to ask a lot of questions. In fact, that was the thing that we was talking in the back. It's like, yo, did Divine ask any questions? Like, we wasn't even certain.
No.
You know, so you played defense the whole night.
Yeah, exactly.
You played defense the
whole night. And I really didn't want to do that, but...
Great job, by the way, of playing defense.
Thank you. Now, if from your critique, honest critique of what I could have done better, and how you believe the format could have been resituated so that way it could have been a better dialogue.
I think the time could have been the rounds could have been maybe even shorter. Like you have like a 5-minute introductory round, then another round of the actual argument, then having another like 10-minute round of rebuttal. Then we could do the crossfire. Then we do Q&A. That's more of a proper debate. Not saying that this wasn't a debate, but it could have been formatted
Much better, right? Yeah.
What else?
Now, what did you think of the title? I didn't really.
What was the
understand
title
it.
again?
The title was Israel versus
Kemet.
Which, when two cultures collide, which one will stand to liberate the black community?
Yeah, I think honestly, even though you had to explain where your stance was just in general, once you finally got to that, I felt like it was very succinct. It took you all of 10 minutes, and you backed up your plan with scripture. Whereas your opponent did not bring up any committed
But what
text.
did he even talk about at the end?
I mean, he basically piggybacked on what you said.
He didn't really give a solution.
I mean, he did, but because you did such a great job, he kind of like did what he said.
Yeah.
But my issue though was you was inspired by the biblical text. That's where you got your idea of building community.
Exactly.
Whereas
Look,
he didn't.
Acts chapter 4, which was something else I wanted to elaborate on, verses 32 all the way to 36, we see how the first ecclesia supported themselves.
Yes, they had everything in common.
Everything in common.
They sold everything.
And they put it at the apostles' feet. The apostles
Right.
distributed, so everybody had a need. That's autonomy.
And they had to do that because when the church first started, nobody went back home from Pentecost.
Exactly. They stayed right
so
there.
that was the first issue, housing.
There you go.
Right? So,
food, clothing,
right,
all of
exactly,
this stuff.
exactly.
And even when we look at Paul, where Paul had to gather together on the first day of the week because he had to get funds to support what? The ministry going forward.
Right.
He didn't go and say, well, let's go and get jobs and work with the Romans and do this. He said, no, we got to collect these monies ourselves and give it to the brothers that's actually doing the work.
And
That's
he worked
autonomy.
himself because he worked as a tent
There
maker.
you go. And he made it very clear that's what he did.
He told Divine to come back home.
And you know,
which they all say that to him. Everybody in the community.
that's how you know he watches. He watches.
They
this stuff.
always, because he is a force to be reckoned with, and who wouldn't want Divine Prospect in their squad?
But it's only because at the end of the day, I know that I am a humble servant to the Creator and a tool in His hand, and I know that His people, His real people, need to be built up in a way where we all have to contribute something for the greater good. And even my brother Alfredo, aka Tranquill, he'll put you to sleep. You know what I'm saying? In a good way. Even he has a lot to contribute to our community because we stand on the same principles.
Yes, sir.
The problem is when you remove that structure, that order, and I say this very respectfully, you get chaos.
And we saw some of that.
And we saw some of that. You know what I'm saying? But with everything said and done, I want to thank my brother for being there. He had my back.
Yes,
When I came in, I said, yo, Alfredo, do you want to come to this debate? He was like, yeah. Show me what it is. And I gave it, and the brother came all the way from Brooklyn to Harlem to come be a part of this debate. So
Yeah.
if y'all want to know one of the main people who support me in New York, it's this brother right here. From day one, he's been consistent. We never even argued about nothing, and we have disagreements. And this is how we're supposed to deal as a community, right? So the second thing was he's dropping some science. Earlier. Please go over briefly for the people before I end this session. Break down that what we talking about, the divine council situation, and you leading that to Yahushua or Jesus, and then him going to the mountain and
Caesarea.
Yeah, kind of like flow that real quick. I definitely want to see you break.
I mean,
that down.
again, it's all about context, right? And when we say context, we don't just mean reading 20 verses before or 20 verses after a particular passage, right? We're also talking about the historical context as well, because Jesus takes his apostles to Caesarea Philippi. And if you know anything about Caesarea Philippi, it has a very infamous history. We know that a lot of idolatry occurs at this mountain base. In fact, you have these things called the rocks of the gods, where to this day, when you go to Israel, you still see these dug out holes where they will put their idols at. One of the main deities was Pan. And in fact, people would take goats and have sex with these goats.
That's where the myth from Pan comes from. Did you see that? What's the name of that movie?
And Caesar was also worshipped there as well.
Is it Pan's Labyrinth? Have you seen that movie?
No.
Pan's Labyrinth?
I know of it, but I've never seen it.
And the main antagonist is a goat. That is a heavy movie. Please watch me and get a chance.
And we know goats have always been a stumbling block for Israel for some strange reason.
And we know that.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So anyway,
Good.
Then also it's the base of Mount Hermon. Mount Hermon, if you know your Genesis chapter 6, we know that's the Watchers came down and slept with the daughters of man, and that's how we got the Nephilim, right? So fast forward to the first century, Jesus brings them to this place, and they have a conversation about who he is. and they have their different answers. You know, Peter says, yes, you're the Son of God. And Peter says, and he does a double entendre. It says, you're Peter, which was his nickname. Peter is Petros. He's like, you're Pebble, but on these rocks. What rocks? The rocks of the gods. I will build my church, my kingdom. And he's saying that his campaign on earth begins at Satan's HQ.
That's deep.
That's what he was saying.
And
also, he says, and then he says the gates of Hades would not prevail.
About that, yeah.
At the base of the mountain, there's the actual opening in the mountain where there's a waterfall, and the locals call it the gates of Hades, right? And the superstition was that Baal would emerge from the underworld through this cave.
Wow.
So when he's saying that the gates of hell won't prevail, it's not poetic license. There's an actual thing that he's looking at when he says that, right? And then when he finishes, it says that he goes up to this mountain. Now, of course, he's already at a mountain base. So which mountain is he climbing? He's climbing out Mount Hermon, where the watchers came in Genesis chapter 6. And that's where he transfigures. And for me, I feel like that's a calling card. Yeah. Because he's already in, it's like a blood going to a Crip's crib and saying, check this out, it's my house. That's what Jesus did. So Jesus wasn't weak at all. Like that's a very gangster thing to do.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And when he goes to the mountaintop, he transfigures. Cause I think he wants to show the powers that be, the other entities, that just in case that you're misconstrued, let me reintroduce myself.
Exactly.
My name is Hov.
Yeah, and I follow up on this. And what I teach in regards to the divine council, I teach we have to understand it in a context of like a court. Yes. So in a court, you have a judge, and on the right side of the judge is the bailiff, and then in there you have the prosecutor and defendant. You have the audience, let's say, or the jury, and then you have people that's watching it. Now, what is the bailiff's job in the court? What's his job?
Is it to bring in the?
That's the one. Bring in
and maintain order.
And maintain order, and he gets his authority from who?
The judge.
The judge. So when we see the right hand of the judge in the court, it's the bailiff. So now when we look at the divine council, because Yahusha was elevated to the right hand of the Most High, he became the enforcer through who Yah can use to subjugate all powers, thrones, principalities. And the reason for that is because when we examine the divine council, there are entities. For example, it's in the book of Kings, where we have a situation where the Most High is presiding and he's speaking about Ahab and the lying prophets.
What they should do with
and then it says, there was a host on his left side, host was on the right side, and he's asking him, who should go? And then a spirit stepped forth and say, I shall go. And the Most High says, go and do this thing. Why am I saying this? Because when you look at this court setting, there's a right hand that the Most High uses in order for him to initiate his power or to extend his authority over the council.
That doesn't mean that we subscribe to a pantheon.
No. We're not. That's not what we're saying. Right. All we're saying is we're acknowledging that there are other entities over other things that are there in the world. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of people get so legalistic that they miss the spiritual elements that is being taught and conveyed in the text. It's too spooky. Right? That's what they say. It's too spooky. So being that me and this brother had a great build on it, I just want to inspire you to watch more builds with us together. Please, if y'all in New York, support this brother. Reach out to him. Tell him how they can find you on Facebook or YouTube.
Facebook, Alfredo Valentin. That's Valentin. You could. My YouTube channel is Tranquill. That's Tranquill. 2 L's. And
now, how can we hear your music? If you are an artist,
I haven't done music in a minute, man. I've been lazy.
Can we look at the throwback stuff? You got some throwback?
I can find at the archive. I can go to the archive.
Yeah. So I say that because that's where Tranquill comes from, right?
Yeah, that's my rap name.
That's a rap name. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. A quick debriefing. I had to put the brother on camera because, you know, our builds is, I think, second to none, man. Okay. And so I'm saying this because we love you guys. Please tune in. Follow my brother on YouTube. Shout out. And then we're going to catch you guys again. Next time in New York, we're going to have a real lengthy discussion and we're going to record everything. Peace, family.